Так,
Alright.
начинаем.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the
Oh no.
amazing K character block.
Oh no.
Starting with KO. My name is Rythin. With me is
Kataref, hello?
Oh no.
Kadi has played this game extensively and
Sure, yeah.
knows a lot about it.
I run Okami, this is basically the same I was told.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we'll just get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So KO2.
Итак, погнали.
Second installment in the franchise, the one that if you know any KO, you probably know this one. Starting off, you may have noticed that the game is not in a normal language.
Интересно,
So I'm playing
так.
on the retail version, which is the first release of the game that ever came out, and it's only in Polish. And I'm playing on it because it has the most skips. So the run, any percent is pretty simple. The goal is obviously.
Нет, конкретно ритейл-версию, которая
we will be collecting
выходила, самая первая версия, и играют на польском, потому что, как я понял, это единственный язык ритейл-версии, который был.
As I come through here, I've already done one skip, the funky jump on the well to skip a cutscene. Now I'm coming over here and jumping out of this water, which normally you're not supposed to double jump out of water, but because of how the water cycle works, when it's at its lowest, when you jump, you actually count as being in air, not in water, so you can double jump. Anyway, I'll be coming through here,
Здесь, кстати, тоже был небольшой трюк.
yeah.
Вообще из воды нельзя даблджампить, но из-за того, что, как я понял, там волны туда-сюда тягают, или из-за того, что цикл воды так работает, если попасть в тайминг, то можно из воды сделать даблджамп и залезть на эту горочку.
But it's another sort of throwing minigame where you throw some nuts at a tree, knock it down, and then you can cross, but instead you can just do a precise jump. And that works.
А тут мы просто запрыгиваем на невидимые модельки.
And yeah, another skip right here. You're supposed to go on the bottom of this net and sort of like grab onto it with your ears, which is an animation, because of course it is. But instead you can just go on top, which is much faster. I guess a bit about the movement, you notice.
А вообще сетку нужно было за нее зацепиться ушами, но зачем на нее цепляться? Это же анимация, это медленно, он будет ползти, карабкаться точнее. Поэтому проще запрыгнуть и пробежать так. Потому что благо есть коллизия.
And so it lets me stay closer to the ground, so I can roll again really quickly. I am messing up the skip, which is not that difficult, I promise. There we go. So you can get stuck in the corner there and jump out of it to get some extra height.
Здесь мы запрыгивали в угол, зацепились за текстуру, за коллизию. И отпрыгнули от нее еще раз.
And that's pretty much all the skips for the first level. There's like one more tiny cutscene skip. But yeah, other than that, pretty basic stuff.
Ну и в принципе это все для этого уровня. Больше особо ничего такого не будет криминального, кроме скипа катсцены.
Encourage them to enter the halls. Encourage is a good word because it's pretty much just a suggestion if they want to cooperate or not. Yeah, if you were wondering, this is where like 90% of the runs die because haha, screw you.
РНГшное место. Здесь такая мини-игра, в которой нужно загнать всех этих... Это кто вообще? Кроты? Баджер? Я забыл. Английский приз. Ну, в общем, нужно загнать этих существ. Барсуки, во, спасибо. Загнать барсуков в свои норки. И они, ну, немножко рандомные, поэтому иногда там можно зауриднить все, и это место, где обычно ресетятся раны.
adding more skips now would mean going out of the way for coins more, which is not ideal, but what needs to be done. Which is another sort of reason why the auto-scroller sections here, which are quite plentiful in this game, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately in this case. Obviously, auto-scrollers is not what you really love to see in a speedrun, but it's a section which is really hard to skip, and it has like tons of money, which is really nice for the routing. Means we don't have to worry as much.
У меня есть какое-то подозрение, что я слышу какие-то нелегальные звуки в этой игре. Возможно, там лайв-сплит. Хотя, как он может там работать? Я имею в виду, лайв-сплит запущен.
Yeah, so for these auto-scrolling segments, there is a certain degree of rubber banding, so you basically will never be able to fully run away from whatever is chasing you. But yeah, there's also some leniency if you mess up, so there is not like only one path you can take.
Gonna come up here on this weird collision that just sticks out. Lets me skip having to deal with all those tentacles.
Да, на автоскроллер с побегами, ой, с преследованием противниками по всей игре имеют одинаковые свойства. Это то, что убежать прям конкретно от того, кто вас преследует, не получится. Игра раббербендит их. Ну и, в принципе, так как игра детская, есть достаточно большое окно для ошибок. Поэтому можно особо не волноваться по поводу того, какую рут вы используете.
Speaking of skips, here we are supposed to knock down a few more than just two, but just two of these acorns will do.
Yep.
А, у них так донат выводится, все, понял.
Throwing a boomerang will sort of lock the vertical position of KO for the duration of the animation, which is really nice for extending some longer jumps. And we had the first real instance of combat, which is also quite simple. All you really need to do is make sure. Oh my goodness! Is make sure that.
Так, вот это фейл.
The third hit of the combo lands because nice.
О, вот это фейл.
All right. About that estimate. No, it's fine. Yeah, so KO has a 3-hit melee combo, and the third hit in this version specifically always kills, at least the regular enemies. So you can actually start attacking early, miss the first two, hit with the third one, and it'll still kill.
В боевке есть небольшой эксплойт. Конкретно в этой версии игры каждый третий удар, он наносит огромнейший урон, и обычных противников он выносит с одного удара. То есть можно сетапить удары раньше, то есть 2 удара по воздуху, и третьим ударом, если попадаете по противнику, то он с вероятностью 90% просто отлетает.
There's like a unique enemy that's kind of funny coming up in a short while. Oh, camera.
Опять фейл.
Yep.
Yep, makes sense, yeah.
Pretty good, pretty good. Thankfully, there's a checkpoint here.
Recover.
Kill this fish before it kills me. Yeah, so this dynamite guy, he just like follows you around and explodes when he touches anything. This is the only time in the game he appears. Why? Oh. Alright, great trees. Finally, we can have some fun. First of all, these badgers really want my help. I say no. I jump on their cages and leave. L and ratio. Here we're gonna come up here and there's like a whole staircase thing that you run down and like get chased by barrels and stuff.
Скипаем лестницу.
And now, uh-oh, I'm dead. Oh no.
Обычным
Alright,
стомпом.
let's do that again.
Ну, и еще один косяк.
Pretty good. So what happens is because I jump down the staircase instead of just walking down it as a normal person would, I skip the loading trigger for the next chunk of the level. However, it's actually not as bad as it might sound because the collision is still loaded. It's just the textures that are gone.
На самом деле,
Thing
у
that
этого
you'll see throughout the run is just me
скипа
driving
лестницы
along
есть
and
еще одно
flying,
применение дополнительное.
because the textures aren't there. So yeah, get used to
Ну,
that.
даже, наверное,
That bridge was unloaded, but
не
it's
применение, а когда вы скипаете эту лестницу, у вас не
so we had
прогружается
some rails, we had to jump
следующая
through
часть уровня. Поэтому, как вы могли заметить, вот
for
тут
that
у нас
specifically.
кенгуру бегает по
As
воздуху,
you can see, he's
потому что
kind of
игра считает, что пол есть, но текстура не прогружена.
But luckily, the loading triggers are still loaded, so you can hit further along loads and get back your textures. Here's another skip. If I... Oh, okay. That was strange mess up. Cool. The theme of this run is not taking
Фейл
checkpoints.
за фейлом нас преследует. Там был еще один скип, который раннер зафейлил.
I will not do that again. Hopefully. I swear I practiced. Grab the boomerangs. Never mind. I think I have like full boomerangs. Right. So the point of that skip was to skip fighting this gnome over here. It's like very tiny and really worth risking death over. Hello, I would like this check. Thank you. There we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? And then it looked like
Смысл данного скипа в том, что
actually there's like
просто пропустить вот этого гнома, который хочет с вами подраться очень сильно.
animation with a boomerang throw.
Мы перепрыгнули там через коллизию и спрыгиваем вниз.
It's not the star power up that I'll get later, but it lets me glide a bit like that, and yeah, pretty good. There's like very few of those in the game overall, and we pick up even fewer. Right, look at that, another skip coming up. You're supposed to come like into this tree, and then there's like a tunnel thing that I'm going to land on top of instead, and hit the loading trigger from outside. And yeah, activate these platforms, which are kind of required. Also make like a pretty long jump there to actually reach it. Gonna kill this gnome for its firefly, because fireflies act as keys in this world for some reason.
Выносим этого гнома, чтобы выбить светлячка. Светлячки здесь играют роль ключей. Как можно было заметить, светлячок открыл нам там дверь.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole slide section.
Which is the main use of the boomerang overall.
Yeah, pretty much.
Здесь скипнули небольшой кусочек
Good for her. Which
локации, слайд.
Alright, River Raid.
Небольшой
What an
таймсейв.
exciting level. So the gimmick of this level is that you have a raft and you just kind of sit in it and wait. Pretty cool. So first of all, we have to get to the raft, which hopefully shouldn't be too difficult, but seeing how the run has gone so far, you know, might be a little tricky. Okay, there we go. And yeah, just gonna swim downstream, get a couple checkpoints, because the path is gonna be blocked, so we have to get out of the raft, hit some switches, maybe free a beaver or two, and progress. You can see the first one right here. A bit of tech that we can do, whenever you start docking, the raft slows down significantly, but punching for some reason resets that slowdown and lets the raft accelerate back to its normal top speed, which is much higher. That saves like a fraction of a second time. Now here I am going to come up and do a bit of a damage boost on these spikes. You're not really supposed to do that.
Запрыгиваем на стенку,
I don't care.
потом запрыгиваем на мостик,
And yeah, free the beaver.
делаем небольшой damage boost и залетаем.
While I'm waiting for the beaver, I can come over here and grab these coins. Grab the checkpoint, which maybe I should have done earlier, but fine. And coming up is the most important part of the run. You see there's these two
Сейчас у нас
fishermen
будет самая важная часть рана.
Yep.
these guys, and they are gay.
Oh, that's good to know.
Вот они.
Yeah, that's the official lore.
Самая важная часть.
Yeah,
Это
do
были
that.
бобры, которые
Hit
ловят
the
рыбу.
button by rolling into it, because why would you ground pound? And continue onwards. Next checkpoint right here. This one has a pretty funny visual bug, because this is kind of like an area where the water is down, as you can see, and we hit the button to like open the floodgates and raise the water level. But if I manage to do it fast enough, like that, I can actually go through before the water really rises, and here, just
Ну,
flags.
тут небольшой визуальный баг. Мы на лодке просто дальше
Okay, this
проплываем.
spot can be kind of tricky, so I'll take this checkpoint. This is like really out of the way, honestly, but just get it for safety. Gonna come over here, do another damage boost on these spikes.
Пропрыгиваем. Делаем еще один damage
This is
boost
gonna
от
land, hopefully
моста.
not get eaten. Maybe I will. I will.
Нас съели.
I'll do it twice.
Yep.
Just, I really wanted to
Нас
cross.
еще раз съели.
There we go. And yeah, this animation also exists. Alright.
А вот та самая анимация, которую мы пропустили тогда.
This part, fun fact, you might not know,
От сетки.
this part is actually inspired by KO1. There's a similar section with the tunnel being like dark and fireflies lighting the way. It's done much better in this game. So that's nice. And once again, while I'm waiting for the beaver to come and open the gate for me, I'll take a little detour, pick up some coins. That might have been a first frame, which would be really cool.
Пока бобер открывает нам ворота,
When you get on the
мы
raft, it
сбегали,
does
собрали
state,
монетки.
that it becomes available, you can actually jump out of it. It was not the first frame. That's fine. It's a tiny, tiny time save, but it looks cool. And we are getting close to the end of the level. Avoid these porcupines or hedgehogs. Thank you for the ledge grab. Alright, just a couple of these sprigs to take. Then grab the checkpoint. Should not regret it. Thank you. Couple more of these chestnut enemies, convenient stars on the way. And then this gate opens by killing these two gnomes. Nice. They were actually quite nice.
Здесь убиваем
And we're on
уничтожаем
to
двух
the
гномов.
boss.
И после этого ворота открываются.
So, as
Обязательные
with
условия.
every boss in this game, it consists of
Ну
three
и теперь
phases,
босс.
which pretty much are like the same thing repeating. So, here it's going to
У
be
босса 3 фазы.
lightning bolts coming from the sky. Then I hit a floor tile, knock out these mirrors, and then the boss will come up and drop his shield. I can hit him 3 times, like that. 2, 3, and then the pattern repeats. So I'm just gonna do the same thing 2 more times. If you've got anything to read, perfect time.
Alright, I got some stuff cooking up behind here. Let's start with a $10 donation from Mifa that says Dongons.
Thank you, Mifa.
We also got a $25 donation from Zoe. How's this new? So fast. Wow. Insane. Good luck on the run. Thank you so much for those lovely donations. We also got a $10 donation from Poker Face of Arti. Hello, Rythin.
Hello,
That's all
Poker.
he left as he vanished away into the thin air. And we finally got a $10 donation from Volley Harmon. Hey ESA, love you all. Thanks for an awesome event. Good luck on the run, Rythin, and jump your kangaroo. Thank you so much for those lovely donations.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Perfect timing. We just finished the boss. Really well done. Yeah, I got some nice Polish dialogue. Gonna
Жестокая
pretend
игра.
I didn't hear that.
Это что, отсылка
And
к Терминатору?
on to the second world, which has the hardest strat in the game. Totally.
Почти.
I promise.
Почти отсылка к Терминатору.
So yeah, after every boss, we basically come back to the hub and have to find our way into the next zone. So this right here is the impossible jump. It's called that because it's impossible. Okay, there we go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was impossible. So that's not how I usually do it. What I did there is a roll cancel. So at the end of the
Этот
roll, you
трик
have a
называется
chance
Impossible
to
Jump.
jump out of it. Again, not usually how I do it. I don't practice roll cancels, so I just kind of randomly got it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, got that behind us.
Работает он за счет того,
This
что
roll jump, which
под конец ролла у вас есть где-то примерно 3 фрейма, в которые вы можете сделать еще один input.
this invisible ledge. Very nice. It's just like some button pressing and little cutscenes and stuff. Nothing too big, but you know it adds up, and it's nice to have some minor skips here and there. Coming up is the first proper out of bounds, I think. Yeah, I think so. So we can jump on this fence post, and if I do it right, jump over the invisible wall and just kind of skirt along the outside. Jump onto this roof, which for some reason has ice physics, and jump over here. And this is very clearly out of bounds. And this isn't like a huge skip, like we're pretty much following along the intended path anyway. But this tunnel over here, if you remember that slow ear climbing animation, you'd have to do it throughout this whole thing. So
И вот, как вы можете наблюдать, у нас здесь был
so much nicer.
первый ОБ.
I'm gonna hope for this guy to move out of the way kindly. Thank you. And just skate down here. Going to jump, skip this cutscene, throw a boomerang to preserve some of that momentum from the ice. I didn't grab that checkpoint out of habit. I really wish I had. It's fine, I'll just not die. Just be good for him. How are you doing, Caddy?
Pretty good. Not worried about this at all. From what you told me, this is a very consistent part of the current run.
Totally, yep. We're doing good so far, but...
No reason that would change.
Exactly. Alright. Cool.
See?
Easy. That was... Okay. Thank you. Fun part of the run. This is pretty much the one section that kind of
Хороший
stops
сегмент.
a no
В
hit
этот раз
run
без
being
косяков.
possible. It's possible to get through this without getting hit, but it's like close to frame perfect. For some reason, these two spiders, like you do not have enough time to hit both of them before one shoots. It's like you always get hit there. It would have been really funny if I avoided the damage now when saying that, but alas, did not happen, unfortunately. Well, weird enemies that we'll not really see much of after this, but... Kao the Kangaroo. Coming up is another one of those skips that just helps with not knocking down things to cross a large body of water. Instead we can do a strafe jump with a boomerang. That was a nice camera, but it still worked, okay. Fine by me. So that section, like knocking down some stalactites to
Красивый
make a path,
прыжок.
usually takes like, I don't know, 30 seconds. We don't have to do it though.
Через
Here's where the
бумеранг.
boomerangs really come in handy, because when you jump from a skate, you can't double jump, you can't tail swing, but you can throw a boomerang. That's the only way to sort of extend the distance you get from these kind of jumps. So lets us cut some corners here more optimally.
В этом сегменте очень хорошо помогают бумеранги, потому что
Much more useful.
на льду, когда отпрыгиваешь, второго прыжка нету, к сожалению.
Alright, and
И чтобы долетать, используется бумеранг.
really normal, at least for a while. So, you wanna get something red? Go ahead.
I have one thing to say, and that is a $20 donation from Mecca.
Ну а до конца уровня у нас будет нормальное прохождение, обычное, без
Thank you so much
приколов.
for that $20 donation.
Thank you very much. Truly inspiring,
Yes, as always.
as always. Right, let's see this cycle. This does not look very good. Okay, it's easy. More funny spiders. These ones hit you like a lot of the time, but they are avoidable.
in theory.
In theory, yeah. You like kind of go at that wall and then hope for the best. I don't know. This is a really stupid strat here that I really shouldn't go for, but
Why wouldn't you go for it?
easy.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
Уф.
Was not worried for a second.
Опасность
Just
старта.
watch me like fail right now. This pillar kind of doesn't exist. It's fine. Yeah. This part is really fun casually when you don't know where the icicles fall and you just kind of
Этого столба не существует просто.
and then the floor disappears. Pretty cool. Alright, that's that level. Coming up on another one of those fun auto-scrollers. Really cool. Yeah, I don't know.
И теперь у нас очередной
Just exists.
уровень автоскроллер.
Lots of coins to collect. There's coming up. There's like a snowplow, or as some would call it, a bulldozer, that makes these ice spikes in front of me. Which, when you just run into them, you just take some damage and continue on. But if you jump onto them, you instantly die. And sometimes it makes like a really cursed sound at video games.
О, я знаю этот трактор.
So yeah, technically taking these like rails is not
Кажется, я видел его в
optimal.
каком-то
You can
видео.
cut corners better if you don't, or you can fall into water. That's also cool. But they have like so many coins on them that it's
О,
really-
косяк.
I'd rather take the unoptimal line and lose some time, but not worry about the coins as much.
Да, Ваба шарит.
It's definitely one of the bigger coin sort of oriented levels in the route. This section is really cool. You don't have to press anything. You just kind of press jump like here. Just like, I don't know, 4 or 5 jumps. So you just have to time it kind of well. Not really. But yeah, no directional input, no nothing.
So what's the lore behind the change from snow to lava?
Yep.
Mhm.
It's here.
Yep.
It's in the mountains, the volcano probably,
Of course.
naturally. Yeah, that section's over. But more floor collapsing in front of you, because you know that's okay. Didn't want to jump there anyway. It's fine. Seems to be
Miss
the
input.
of
That was a miss input.
dying.
So maybe there you noticed the coins written collected on the first go were not there anymore. So coins, basically, yeah, every single coin is unique. So once you collect them, they're gone for the rest of the playthrough. Technically, you could dupe them, but it's like really cumbersome and slow compared to actually collect all of the coins you need. But of course, if you would do a category, let's say like low percent, where you don't want to complete like basically anything apart from the main objective, you would sit here and dupe coins.
О, трактор.
You don't do.
Low percent is pretty cool.
Yep.
You kind of complete the first level and then you dupe coins for 2.5 hours, and then you go to the final boss.
Mhm.
It's a
Трактор.
very entertaining category, I think, but it's a little too
Пустый
demanding
трактор.
for me personally. That's why I didn't super it.
Speaking of entertaining, I think the projectiles coming from this snowplow are also very entertaining sometimes.
Yes. So the snowplow throws these icicles, and they're completely random. If they want you dead, you will be dead. Sucks to suck. Try again.
Doesn't look like it this time though, so far.
Okay, we should be fine. Cool. And of course, throughout the whole section, there is no checkpoints. So if the plow decides you're dead, going back to the beginning. To the beginning of the plow section, not the whole level. Shout out to Zoe who donated earlier. This strat exists. This is rail walk. So normally you're supposed to like hit a button to get a minecart to show up here and let you ride on these rails, but you
Whoop.
can just kind of do this, and it's so free. It's not actually free. It's kind of difficult, but I make it look free because I'm just that good. So you could tell by the previous levels. Alright. Come up here. They grab the boomerangs? I did, okay. Sometimes I just forget to grab the boomerangs here and then I suffer.
Also slowly closing in on the 50 stars we mentioned earlier, you kind of want.
Okay. A little spooky. Should be fine. Hopefully I won't get hit again. Alright. Checkpoint please. Thank you. Yeah, so closing on the 50 stars, as Kari mentioned, that will give me the glide ability, which, funny enough, we get it at a point where the next world is just not gonna use it at all. So it's kind of a tease. Like, you get it, and then you have to wait a whole, like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes to use it. This button's fun. For some reason, just locks your movement for a little while. So, stand there. Appreciate the amazing elevator. Just realized I don't think any music is playing, which is kind of awkward, but that's fine. Okay, so 50 stars got all that we needed. And now, you know, more ice on lava, because why not? Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the level. There's like a little more sliding, there'll be like a tiny skip right here. You just jump, cut this corner, use the boomerangs to not fall in the lava. It's pretty helpful. I would generally recommend not falling into lava, but you know, I'm not a doctor. And yeah, coming up is the next boss, the second boss.
Zebrałeś
Shut up.
50 gwiazdek
Please
i
stop
udoskonaliłeś jedną ze swoich umiejętności.
The best thing is that the line played out
Ну,
pretty
теперь мы
much in
подходим
its entirety,
к
but it did
следующему
not
боссу.
play out in its entirety. So it's gonna show up again when the game feels like reminding me that I upgraded one of my abilities. But yeah, this boss, again, 3 phases. First one, you shoot these guys with the boomerangs. This guy tells us that the boomerangs won't help me here, and then I get in a catapult. One of those guys. And yeah, this part has some RNG. This guy can jump to the right or to the left. He jumped to the right, which is good RNG. Let's hope that happens again. But yeah,
Окей, вот это босс.
same thing again. Got anything to read? Go for it.
Absolutely. We got a $10 donation from Natrium.
Nice.
Hello, Rythin. Happy to see you running. Good luck and glad to have seen the beavers have been mentioned. The beavers have indeed been mentioned. I do want to refresh everyone while this boss fight is going on the incentives going on right now. We are still working on those Step Mania incentives for Eurobeat and Frame Perfect. But we also have some people here donating for the upcoming Red Dead Redemption 2 Bid War for naming the horse for that run. And right now we have Casey Fru in the lead with $33, followed by Juan at $10. So if you want to see some change there, make sure to get your donations in.
I really like Juan. Let's get Juan to number 1. Alright, so we did that boss, and coming up is the water levels,
Na
which...
miejsca, gotowi,
Shut up.
start!
Yeah, so water levels, actually one of the only video games in existence.
О, вау, это что, Rage?
And you'll see why. But
Здесь
first we
у
have to
вас
do
и
this
автоскроллер,
the retail version.
и out of bounds,
camera.
и
Doesn't really show you
бумеранги, и
anything,
гонки.
but anyway. You can also just kind of do that. Don't worry about it. You can actually go out of bounds with that in the race, but it's not useful because the race controls are the most advanced thing the developers made for this game, or that race like control.
Вопрос, это Kao the Kangaroo Rage или Rage это Kao the Kangaroo?
And forgot to hit the flaming ring of shortcut things. Yeah, whoops. I'll have to do that on the next go. That's fine. So yeah, 3 laps. Should take around another minute and a half, hopefully, if I'm not too awful. The rubber banding present in the chase sequences is not present here at all, so I just kind of, you know, left everyone in the dust, and we will not be seeing them again. Weirdly enough, they like you don't lap them either, so I'm not sure what's going on. Like maybe they just despawn. I don't know. Yeah, so going through that ring, open the shortcut. which is a lot quicker than going the other way. And thankfully the shortcuts stay open, so after the first lap, ideally you wouldn't jump
Не,
anymore.
ребят, это не
because
GTA,
that is,
это Rage.
it's time where you're not boosting.
У GTA нет бумерангов.
Yeah, one more lap. This jump right here is like weirdly precise. I've been getting it pretty well, but a lot of runners struggle with it. It's a strange thing. I think they made it better in the Steam release though. I don't know. Don't play that. Don't play that garbage. Hot takes here on twitch.tv/ESA Marathon. KO community in shambles.
О, а мы уже
Alrighty.
почти нагнали
And that should be the
donation
end of the race. 2:35 is
гол, который
a
побьет
respectable time.
результат если
Not the best.
2014.
Not the worst.
Got
Когда я
quite a few
заходил,
coins
вроде
there.
было меньше
Yes,
намного.
so regarding the 3,000 ducats that we need to collect, luckily for us, there's 2 levels that reward 1,000 each just for completing them. So you don't actually have to collect like, you know, a billion of them. So yeah, starting with the levels where you swim underwater. And the reason they are fun is this little polygon right here. It's actually quite nice. That's why I, you know, give it a big ol' hug.
Mhm.
Make sure to inspect it thoroughly. And whoop, okay. Hello. There's
Так.
water outside of the water.
Так.
And yeah, we're just
Опа,
gonna
выплываем в ОБ.
hit some loading triggers on the way and just go to the end. The nice thing about KO is the collision is generally one-sided, so it's pretty hard to clip out, but it's really easy to clip back in. So if you find a way out, you know, you can just go. Actually, I guess that's it's only the case for the water levels. You don't really go out of bounds that much outside of these, so I guess I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just speaking bollocks. Who knows? Anyway, that was that level. Here's the famous voice line that every Polish person is going crazy over. And every other person watching is like, what are they saying?
Yeah, I can confirm.
So you speak Polish, right? You know what they said. They said to like come over to this net and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So we've got like a minute. If you wanna, you know, gonna make a tweet. If you wanna read some donors, go ahead.
All right, absolutely. We got $19.87 from Zoe once again. Have to donate more because of the rail walk. Also, that strat in Ice Cave was
Плывем куда-то.
amazing and had like no idea that
Раннер
existed.
вообще полез
and
телефон чекать.
Potato chip.
Жесть.
Thank you so much for that donation.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
I've made my tweet.
And we got a $25 donation from Mackenzie. Hey, capital R Rythin!
I will find you.
Thank you so much for those lovely donations.
Thank you, thank you. Got more?
Yeah, I can do one more. Let's
Yeah,
see
go for
here.
it.
We got $5 from S7 Wings 7. I like this version of Super Mario 64. Nice PC port with coins and stars to collect. But can we get more info about the beavers? Since when are they together? Can we get some pictures? I need to know!
I want pictures of the gay beavers.
Thank you so much for those $5 donation.
Thank you, thank you. Alright, so yeah, we just kind of went in a direction for a minute, and that's the end of the level. Look at that. Crazy. So that's why the water levels are good, because you don't play them. And this is the single boss that made me put off running this game for so long.
This is the reason why the water levels are not good.
Yes. So
Pum, pum,
this
pum,
boss
pum,
again, 3
boss.
phases. Have to shoot down all the tentacles, which are very, very fun. Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Yep. One more. Come on. Yeah, there we go. And then like a turtle friend shows up and gives you torpedo controls, which for some reason only does when the tentacles are gone. Like, please, why? And then you, yeah, hit the octopus, and then it like shoots out little guys, little jellyfish at you, and you have to kill all those as well. Fun fact about this
Запускаем
level is you
торпеду
can actually hold down
восьминога.
strafe to slow down in the water, which sounds really useful for, like, you know, catching the tentacles when they're at a weird position. However, it also disables your iframes, so if you get hit, you just die instantly, which is really, really awesome of them to do. So I will not be using that personally. If you'd like to, go for it. I will just shoot them down normally. So yeah, 2 out of 3. 1 more to go. And then we'll move on to the best segment of the run, in my opinion. And just checking, I do have 55 stars, which is perfect. More than enough. Yep, yep, yep. Come on. Okay. 1 cycle. Any 1 cyclers?
Nope.
The KO2 experience. And you have to waste like 10 seconds swimming around. There we go, okay. That should be it. I say that like I'm uncertain.
Better make sure you hit.
You can actually miss, and you can like break the torpedo on the walls. I don't know what happens then because I've never done it, but I'm sure someone has. And it's not a gruesome death at all. Just swim into the fan, make some sushi, you know. Pretty good. And now we're going
Бум,
into the
взорвался
octopus,
осьминог
which is the most
на свет.
flashy, in my opinion, part of the run. Yeah. It's also the place we're gonna use the glide hat like a ton. So look forward to it. Yeah, shut up, Fred. Gonna say it again. Watch it. Gonna overlap. Yeah.
Zebrałeś 50 gwiazdek i udoskonaliłeś jedną ze swoich umiejętności.
Thank you so much.
Teraz skakuj dalej.
So yeah, we kind of jumped under the bridge there, which is like a tiny shortcut, which is gonna cause this area to sort of unload, but not
Попрошу, это не
really. There's supposed
обезьяна,
to be,
это
like,
кенгуру.
mountains and stuff over here. Like you can stand here, I think. Yeah, unload the ground. Yeah, like if you haven't played this casually, it might not look too bad. It's kind of janky, but if you played it, something's off. So the pelican is kind of a recurring gimmick in this world. The whole idea is you get on it, sometimes you'll get off it.
В чем разница между обезьянами и кенгуру? Ну, начнем с того, что обезьяны не смогли победить человека, а вот кенгуру...
The weird thing is that when you wait between flaps, you actually lose the height and the horizontal speed, like on your next flap. So to get the most distance, you just want to get all of them out right away, which is like super unintuitive, and a lot of casuals struggle with that section specifically. But once you get a hang of it, it's actually kind of fun. Here we're gonna skip the glide hat because I have my own. Don't need you. And coming up is a pretty tough out of bounds skip. There's like a section where you're supposed to get in a barrel, like I did at the very start in the first level.
Так, сейчас у нас будет какой-то скипосик out of bounds.
Going to go out of bounds, hopefully not fall into Happy Infant Prison.
Оп.
And instead jump over here.
Nice.
And line myself up like this, Jump up this slope. There we go. This isn't like super precise, but it's kind of tight. Like you don't want to get lost. Yeah. And then there's like a hole in the collision right here, which hopefully. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, the retail camera is not amazing, especially when you're messing around out of bounds. But yeah. Cuddy.
Cassie.
would you like to explain this coming up trick?
Опасная
I can
стеночка.
try. So right there, you saw we already skipped something by damage boosting of the lava, which prevents. Usually the lava would rise here, making this a timed auto scroller pretty much. But by not doing that, we can actually now go into a certain position right next to a trigger that always puts us on top.
Из-за того, что мы сделали damage boost сейчас от лавы,
So as soon as we hit that trigger again,
лава не поднимается.
will
По идее, она должна
tend to be like
подниматься,
pelicans, so we
и
just wait
получается
until it's
это
in a good spot,
эдакий автоскроллер.
and then magic. Nice.
Oh,
Not nice.
slightly too early. Well, okay. Well, I just do it. Yeah, that's fine.
Какая-то черная магия происходит на экране.
It's really dependent on like the angle that you dismount at and your timing, and it's a mess. I'm usually pretty good at it, but you know, marathon luck. I'll just do it again. So yeah, as Kari said, like the pelican doesn't actually activate anything. There's a trigger that just puts you on top of the pelican, and it doesn't get removed because normally the lava would be rising and it wouldn't be accessible again. But since we skipped that trigger, this angle looks much better. There we go. Okay. And in this cutscene, we still have control of the pelicans. We can just, yeah. Nice. All right. And for some reason, in the cutscenes, the 5 flop limit doesn't apply because, you know, game logic. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Черная магия.
All right. Coming up is the next pretty flashy skip. Not as flashy as the upward, I'd say, but it's quite difficult. If I don't get sniped, that is, which is very much a possibility. I kind of suck at avoiding these guys. Okay, it's fine. So there's like a whole island you can see like in the left side of the screen that you're supposed to go around, but instead you can do this long glide, which by itself, that's the skip, that's the time save, but because of it, a part of this section does not load its textures, so this is called the blind pelican, because we'll do part of the section blind. And as you can see, there's this like tiny fish in the air which refresh my flaps. So here's the section. I'll actually shut up and try to get this. Of course. Yeah, there's a bit of ground there and it's like really finicky.
Не получилось.
Luckily, there's also a checkpoint right at the start of this segment.
Yeah, it's not too bad if you fail a couple times. Go. There we go. Okay, nice. Okay, that was
О,
Blind Pelican.
хорошо.
It's, I think it's one of the cooler looking strats in the run, but well, maybe not really looking because you can't see. And as seems to be a theme with these levels, you kind of go from one skip to another right away. So coming up is a sort of mini game almost, where there's like a boulder on some rails and you activate it and you have to activate the rails for it as it goes through. But instead I'll just go back, not hit this checkpoint, which is very relevant. And when I fail this, like so, I will teleport to the checkpoint that it didn't collect, because that's just where it's programmed to put you. And because of the teleport, I actually went through a loading trigger without actually going through it. So this gate is just unloaded. Normally the boulder is supposed to smash it, but you can just walk through. It's fine.
Тут
So that's it,
проходим
basically.
через
Like,
непрогруженный
cooler skips, 'cause it's not just,
проход.
like,
Там
oh, go
должен
around
вообще
and skip a part of the level. It's actually
лежать
involved.
булыжник.
It's definitely one of my favorite strats as well. And yeah, I'll just be coming through here. Cut some corners like so. And reach the end of the level. And after this is the last level of the Tropics segment. It's the volcano, which as is the theme of the Tropics levels, also has some pretty cool strats. Weirdly enough, the out of bounds on the level coming up is not very difficult, but it's one I've been struggling with a lot. So I'll go for a faster strat once, and if I don't get it, I'll go for a slower one, and hopefully get it at most on the second try. But yeah, these rocks on the wall here can be climbed, which was maybe not really. Hello, there we go. Not how I
Оп,
usually do that, but it's fine.
так,
So you
о,
can just get on top
отлично.
of the volcano, and then I'll try to line myself up like so. Approach the white light. And here, turn 90 degrees to the right, hopefully. Yeah. So slightly off, my aim was bad. Okay, we'll go for the slower strat. It's fine.
Не получилось.
That strat is really spooky.
Сложный скип.
But, you know, it's
Там
fast, so
нужно
gotta do it.
очень много
Unless you don't.
точек, к которым можно
So
привязать
the
данный
safer
сетап.
strat is you don't line up as carefully here because it doesn't matter. Just come to the white light. Do a nice 180. And hopefully load this door, maybe? There we go. And with this door, you can easily line yourself up correctly. So take your time.
Так, это сейчас сейф страта.
Come over here.
Теперь мы лайнапим себя по этой двери.
And yeah, you can see like this part of the tunnel is loaded. And luckily enough, like there's no real easy way to get out of bounds because there's no like holes in the collision. But there's a spring right here that like just barely sticks out. So that's nice.
О, супер.
And
Из-за
one thing
вот этой пружины, которая
is
чуть-чуть
get the
буквально
checkpoint,
вылезает из
try to
стены,
avoid, but
она позволяет нам
and
вернуться
this,
обратно
like chase
в
section
баунс.
has a couple instant death bits. So if I just fall into them, that's back to the beginning for me. And my coin cannon's looking pretty solid. Shouldn't need to go like out of the way for more. Just maybe I should shut up and try to focus. Take this break. That's fine. Okay, we should be fine. There we go. Checkpoint get. Alright.
Nice.
Still like half of the level left, but that's the most scary part over. Once again, the enemy is just holding the key to the door right here, so get it. There's these vases that like have dudes inside that just smack you with a club and then go back to hiding. I don't know. Just kind of exists.
Кубомастер XD.
Friend, I need you to become removed, thank you. Grab this checkpoint. Grab the spider. Whoa, 70 stars. Can we go fight Bowser now?
You can try.
Maybe. Maybe I just might. Alright, and this section coming up is like another minigame. This is the one that awards the 1,000 ducats for this level. And every marathon run I've done, I've said how easy it is and then messed it up. So I will try to break the streak by not talking during it. But first, there's this elevator. Shoutouts to Camilo. Found the clip. Pretty cool. Saves like, I don't know, half a second, but it's really... so yeah. Caddy.
Вот
Yeah,
это клип.
so the main, well, the only goal here is to collect
Забавный
20
клип.
of these gold crates. So the pattern is absolutely predetermined, but you also saw there or there, it's not just gold crates that are spawning, so you obviously want to avoid the things that
Знаешь,
are not the crates, because otherwise you just, yeah, have to start over. Basically the pattern is, yeah, as I said, predetermined, but after 16 or whatever, however many, it starts to loop, so you kind of just have to memorize what is spawn, and you were already ready there. And yeah, looking clean so far.
Yeah. should be fine. If I just don't miss boxes, there will be no more fish. So. First marathon run, don't mess this up. Awesome. Woo. Yeah, that's clap worthy. The really easy minigame. Thank you so much. There you go, 3,000 ducats. So as usual, there should be a boss after that level, but because the coins are awarded right as you collect the 20th box, you actually don't need to continue to the boss. You can just quit to hub, because the only thing locking this level is the money.
Mm.
So we paid the 3,000 ducats. We are broke, but we do not need any more money. We can just go and get our sweet revenge. Whatever.
Yeah, it's also noteworthy that you can quit to the hub at any time during a level, but once you're in a boss fight, you can't.
Yeah.
So it's one of the main reasons why we couldn't really avoid too many of the boss fights, apart from them also unlocking the later levels.
Cool little shortcut here. The camera might spaz out, just so you know. Okay, not too bad.
Так, я
That like doorway tends
очень
to
сильно
mess
извиняюсь.
with the camera for some reason.
У нас в чате есть человек, который, очевидно, шарит за данную игру.
Little skip.
И я пропустил, в чем
Genuinely
смысл
never done
был
this level
сбора вот
correctly.
этих вот всех монеток. Поясни, пожалуйста.
Yeah, this looks fine.
Yeah, this looks normal. I'll grab this checkpoint just because.
Много раз упоминал, что нужно собрать 3000 монеток.
And then we will jump over this wall on the left. Hopefully, this jump is kind of tight. Nice. And drop down into the void. As you do. It's just normal kangaroo things, you know? And this spot coming up is kind of scary. I hope it... Okay, got the checkpoint. Nice. I have no idea where the checkpoint is, but I could hear it being picked up. So that's convenient. Because this spot... It's another, like,
Нам
chase
нужно было
section,
собрать эти
except
монетки,
the
чтобы открыть
camera trigger
дверь.
wasn't loaded. You don't see, like, from the front. You have the normal camera, which is really nice. What isn't nice is the collision on these following blocks. Sometimes KO will just slide along them instead of being able to jump, and there's not much you can do. Another nice thing about the skip we did is the huge ship that was shooting cannonballs at the floor that we were running on just didn't load, so I'm just gonna like fall into the water here and enter the secret ghost ship, I guess. You know, just kangaroo things. And yeah, this is the last platforming level of the run. It's just this, which has a couple more skips, and then the final boss. Yes, hello. Oh, come on. Get up. This spot is kind of scary, like there's a soft lock that you could get. I will not be risking it. But like if you roll off this button in the like time you have before the cutscene, you can get stuck in that like spike wall.
На этом
Just get soft
месте,
Isn't
вот
like a
конкретно
huge
этой
deal
кнопки,
marathon setting, but I'd rather not.
можно словить софтлок,
And then
если
these
с
spikes
нее
right here are
скатиться.
instant death, so obviously I'll take like the riskiest jumps possible. Very nice. Okay, and then
Эти шипы снизу, они моментально убивают, поэтому, очевидно,
that
мы
should be the spooky section.
делаем самые рисковые прыжки, которые возможно.
Ow. This section is really annoying to optimize, but we did it. Alright, and this part has the parrot in this huge cage in the middle of the room, I think. And you're supposed to like, I don't know, raise the water level and then raise the cage and free it and blah 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 blah. Who cares? Who cares? I don't. So as usual, I'll just make fun of the prisoners by jumping on top of the cage. And yep.
Здесь
lock
по-нормальному
the void once again.
прохождению нужно спасти в середине
Final duel.
попугая,
We just
и
bunch of boomerangs hunting.
начнет подниматься вода.
Again, 3 phases, though this time
Мы это просто пропускаем путем запрыгивания на окна.
So first of all,
И вот у нас уже финальный
two
босс.
boomerangs at him. You can throw 3 for extra damage, but you only need 2 at his balloon, and that will cause him to move over to the other side. Then you can get like a couple more hits as he's crossing by, which isn't hugely important, but it helps with the last phase, I guess. Saves like a hit or 2. And you do this like 6 times, I think. I think we got one more loop, like back and forth. And then we'll move on to the second phase, which is sort of like running away from exploding. Like the bridges explode under you, and you have to run away. Yeah. So the parrot that we didn't free is now free and will help us through phase 2. This is like the really scary part, because the water is, of course, instant death. So I don't want to fall in. Would really prefer not to. Alright. I mean, it should be. It's really not that difficult. It's just kind of scary because, you know, end of the run, nerves are there. And we begin phase 3, where Hunter just kind of gets sunlocked to death. So time is coming up shortly. Oh, nice. Unloaded the balloon. I'll hit it, don't worry.
Sure.
Так,
Yeah,
мы
so
приближаемся
it's
уже
sunlocked,
ко
and
времени.
in the cutscene, that is time.
И
The
время.
100. That's honestly, with that beginning, I'm super happy with a 100. That's crazy. Alright, quick shoutouts to all the KO runners. Zoe, Cube, Shotu, I'm forgetting like everyone, I'm sorry. Yeah, huge shoutouts. Super awesome community, super
Итак,
wholesome.
это было Kao the
yeah,
Kangaroo раунд 2.
Thank you. Kari,
Порт
anything?
на компьютер.
All good.
Alright, well, I think we're ready to get going.
Thank you so much for that amazing round, Rythin. But stay tuned, everyone, because the animal block is continuing with some bug snacks run by Sudden 2. Coming right up soon.
Have you checked out